Welcome back. We're having this special Super 17 show right now. You've heard about 8 stocks. What you haven't heard is the kind of banter that we had in the break. But on Facebook, I'll tell you about that as well. But for now, let's move on. Let's discuss some more stocks. Ms. Tulsian, Dynamic Products. Interesting stock. Is it BSE listed only stock? And why do you like it?
Anuj, that's right. It is only BSE listed stock. And if you see, they make the complete range of colors. That is food colors, lake colors, complete colors, and it is used in the diverse industries. First, to start with the confectionery, pharma, biscuits, bakery, dairy, and cosmetics, personal care. So, in fact, you can say that this is a very highly closely guarded technology. Very few players existing in this space. Maybe amongst the listed one, I have not been able to identify any other one, having these kind of product range. And if you see, they have 2 plants with 2.5 lakh square feet, 25,000 square meter of plants. Very efficient in the in-house research and expertise. And they are catering of, if you see their 150 crore top line, 70% of that is exported to all the multinationals. As I said that, it is used for everywhere, even in the cosmetics and personal care products, apart from so many wide range of this thing. And if you see, there are 3 or 4 unlisted companies. I don't want to again mention them here, because and they are commanding very huge valuations. I've talked to 2-3 PE investors and all that who are offering any tremendous kind of valuations. And if you go by the financial performance, firstly, it is not widely tracked. We in fact recommended the stock maybe at about 80-85 rupees a couple of months back, or maybe 3 months back, and today now it is ruling at 135. But still, if you take a call going on from here, as I said, 150 crore top line, the kind of growth I'm expecting to be posted by the company, EPS of FY17 is estimated at about 12 rupees. If FY18 is difficult to take a call, which can be just at about 15-16, while FY16 had an EPS of sub 7 rupees. So yes, going on all these fronts, and all these things are US FDA compliant, because they are catering to 70% of the exports, and they're lake colors. Lake colors means it is water insoluble colors, which are where the dyes cannot be used. There the lake colors are used. That's why it is called lake colors. So if you take a call on this stock, I think that as it has not been widely discussed, widely researched by the people and all that, with 12 rupees EPS expected for FY17, I'm expecting price to move to about 200 rupees in next 1 year.
Well, to his company and Prakash, you've also picked Dynamic Products. Mr. Tulsian is very thorough, so it's very hard to add on to more details after his analysis. What more can you tell us?
He's made my life easy by explaining it so well. But I'll tell you what attracted me to this business was, if you remember a couple of years back, we'd identified a company called Sudarshan Chemicals. It's very similar to that in terms of the growth trajectory it's sitting on. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Dynamic has gone from food, colors and flavors to a huge range of applications, which you mentioned. It's all cosmetic, confectionery, including pharma, which is the thing. They've got a huge acceptance from the US FDA as well, and that's also a great opening opportunity for them. Dynamic has already started an expansion plan in Dahej, which is the second unit which they're looking at. If that goes off on time, on stream, the management is a bit reticent, doesn't talk much about things. That's why it's difficult to kind of cover such stocks. But if that happens on stream, FY18 is also going to be equally good. Now, most chemical companies we've seen have got re-rated more than the PE expansion happening. It's the EPS expansion happening. It's a PE that's kind of gone up. In this case, the EPS is already, the half-year EPS is about 5.5 rupees. As compared to 6.6 for the whole full year. So again, you have a story where earnings growth is kicking in. I think I like the story because it reminds me, it's reminiscent of the Sudarshan Chemical story at under 100 rupees and how it kind of transformed. Of course, slightly different, but very niche area, difficult to get in. You have the SH Kelkers of the world, the advanced enzymes. You've seen entry barriers create such unique premiums. This should deserve that as well.
Okay, so Dynamic Products is the stock that we have both Mr. Tulsian and Prakash, both bullish on that stock. Deepan, NBCC, apart from the redevelopment story that we keep hearing about, any other trigger here, and why do you like it?
See, redevelopment is only the icing on the cake. The core business of project management consulting is doing exceedingly well. And every time a government department or a PSU wants to get into any refurbishment or modernization of any of its properties, then this is where the company to go to, which they award the contract for. And if you see the order book position of the PMC business, it's astonishing. At 10 years, its current year sales, increasing every quarter. We just heard again the 20,000 crores plus orders coming in November itself. So you have a steady secular growth coming into NBCC over the next at least 4 or 5 years or so. And whenever a redevelopment project takes place and there's some value unlocking over there, the share of profits come from there, and that could be an added kicker for the company per se. And they're assured of their margins of 7.5% or between 7.5% and 10% of the projects they undertake. So I'm very bullish on NBCC, I think, and despite the real estate industry, the construction industry may get impacted by demonetization. This is the PSU, and in any case, they were operating in the formal economy only. So I don't think that the demonetization will affect them as much at all. So per se, very positive on a company, very unique business model. And I think a short growth over the next several years or so.
Okay, we're not used to the research team being so quiet, right? Let's get in a question there.
Well, yes, I have a question on NBCC. So, the company's order book is burgeoning, as you mentioned, but do you think it has grown too much too soon and they might face execution delays now? And also on real estate, demonetization coming in, do you think they might see the real estate business being a laggard and casting a shadow on the overall profitability now?
See, the core profits come from the PMC business, and at the last con call, the management did say that real estate will be lumpy, it'll affect the profits from quarter on quarter, year on year. But the core PMC business is growing exceedingly well, and the operating profit margins are also steadily increasing over there. And you're right, I think the biggest risk factor for this company is the execution risk. But the nature of the business is such, the resources they have, I think they should be able to manage it. At the end of the day, I think there is going to be some risk factor in every stock you pick. This is a risk factor which one can live with rather than having less of orders and less of growth opportunities. So hopefully they'll get their act in place and they should be able to grow the business. It's an asset-light business model. End of the day, it's HR-driven. So I guess they should be able to get it right. And maybe you have to give them a quarter or two. You could have a few misses in a quarter or so. But on the whole, I think the growth trajectory is very strong.
Okay, our next pick is a stock we're very familiar with, and that's Force Motors. Well, that's because Nigel had highlighted this stock to us. And Nigel, since then, the stock has doubled, tripled, quadrupled.
It's not about me today, Rima, but we had covered it on Midcap Mania. We covered it at 600 rupees, so it's done quite well. So good.
All right, Dalji, tell us more about Force Motors and how much more can it go from here?
We came out with a report at 586. So we started at that time. So and we have given a target of 10,000 rupees.
Oh my!
So now the reason why, it's basically a play on India's burgeoning multi-billionaire class. And so a story on luxury cars. Force Motor is the only company in the world which does work with both the companies, Mercedes as well as BMW. Probably nowhere in the world they do the similar kind. So that shows that the company is capable of managing two big companies of the world and maintaining their IPR, which is very, very important in this case. They're assembling their engines. So our call was basically that in India, where the luxury car market is today, it was like if you compare it with China, when they started in 2005 to 2010 period, the luxury car market actually grew by 54% CAGR. Right? In our country, also from 9,000 in 2010, 9,000 vehicles, we have gone to 32,000 vehicles by 2015, CY15. CY16 is slightly a blip. We were expecting it will be probably 45, 50,000, but now it will be around 30,000 because of two reasons. One, that NCR government, Supreme Court came in with the view that diesel ban, and the other one is now with this demonetization, people might defer their purchases. It's not that people who buy Mercedes get impacted by this, but it's just that they might defer their purchase for some time. So we will see probably in CY17 this numbers will come in. So one part, right now, Force Motors business is two divisions. One is this auto components, which is 38%, and the 70% business is from traveler business. What we are expecting is in next 5 years, this ratio will reverse. Component business will become 70 and 30% will come from traveler. Although traveler is also surprising on the positive side. It is continuously doing very well because of ambulance business, because of this Ola. Now Ola is also doing this bus aggregation. So they are also school buses they are doing. So there are a lot of triggers for Force Motor to continue like this. That's why we feel that although the stock has already become multi-bagger, it still has an option of or chance of becoming a multi-bagger.
Incidentally, Nigel can only forcefully speak about valuations. It's your right to recommend.
Okay, let's take a final break on that note. Once we come back, of course, we'll have our last set of stock picks with all our experts.